It's the latest from Google. Let's check out the Pixel 7a. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. This is the Google Pixel 7a Android smartphone. And I already did an unboxing where I gave you some specs, but I'm going to redundantly give you those specs again in case this is the only one you watch. And then we're going to look at a lot of sample footage from the cameras with both photos and video. Lots of content to check out. But first, 6.1-inch OLED at 1080 by 2400 at 90 Hz refresh, Gorilla Glass 3 with an under glass fingerprint scanner, and an aluminum frame with a plastic back. Now, let me slow down just a little bit here. 1080 by 2400 resolution is not 4K. It's not super high resolution. So that's something to think about. But the flip side is I would say that when you're actually using the phone and you're watching video content or anything else, it looks really good. So don't be dismayed that it's not the highest density screen in the world. It's still a bright, vivid display. However, Gorilla Glass 3 is pretty old stuff, and that's the protective coating on the front. So because they've cut some corners by using that, I would highly recommend if you get the 7a that you immediately get a protective case for it, because you don't want to do that and then pick it up and say, oh, looks like that Gorilla Glass did not protect me from that 3-inch fall, and then have to get the glass replaced. That would be a drag. Now, Gorilla Glass 3 is okay. It's just that they're like 4 generations further into that technology at this point. Now, it is powered by the Google Tensor G2 octa-core. It's running Android 13, and because it's part of the Pixel lineup, you will get the very latest and greatest version of Pixel before anyone else, because it's Google and Google runs Android too. So 128 gigabit of RAM, gigabytes of RAM, not sure where that came from. Stereo speakers. No audio jack. In fact, let's do a quick tour of the edges. On the right-hand side, you have power and volume up and down. On the bottom, you have USB-C for charging and 2 cutouts for speakers. On the left, you've got the SIM card slot. And on the top, you got nothing. So I will say that power-wise, it does charge via wireless Qi charging. It has a 4385 milliamp hour battery, which should give you about 30 hours, or 24 to 30 hours of use, which is great. 30-minute charge gives you a 50%. 30 minutes gives you a 50% charge, and Bluetooth 5.3, USB-C, IP67, dust and water resistant. Lots to like here. Now, when we switch to the back, then, and I'm getting really close to the demos, the 64 megapixel f1.9 26 millimeter wide, a 13 megapixel f2.2 120 degree ultra wide, and then on the front, in this tiny little cutout on the top, tiny little hole, is a 13 megapixel f2.2 20 millimeter ultra wide. And one of the things Google really does is they put a lot of effort into the software for their cameras. So let's do some demos. My local area is a bit more flooded than normal, so I'm going to show you slightly different pictures than most of my phone reviews, but you can see we're starting with wide angle and then normal. This is a 2x zoom. This is a 4x zoom. And this is a long exposure. I think it's really cool, actually. And then the macro was really good, so check these two out. And a selfie. And night sight was a little tricky on this particular phone. This first picture was great. This is so cool. But the second picture, it just got confused about how long it needed to actually expose. So we got a ton of noise in this image. Still pretty cool. Now, let's switch to video, starting with wide angle. And normal. And zoom. And then the two fun ones are slow motion and a selfie.
Well, the water level is so high, I can't go to my normal spot to take photos or videos. As you can see, this is usually a walkway under the bridge. There's a lot of water going here. but most importantly, you're still getting a great demo of the selfie video with the built-in microphone.
Those demos are pretty impressive overall. I think that the only issue I had was that second night side image, and frankly, it's really hard to read the screen at night, but it's probably something where it was a user setting mistake. Still, for a camera and a phone at this price point, it's very impressive. Now, I thought it'd be fun to do a little demo of the speakerphone. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me get this inset up. And now, let's get that voice recorder going. And somewhere here, recorder. So now what you're hearing is you're hearing my voice as picked up by the Google Pixel 7a. So it's doing a pretty darn good job considering the phone's just sitting here in front of me. So I'm going to stop this. We're going to save. And sure, we'll add location. We'll do it while we're using the app. And then I'm going to stop the overall recording. So we'll stop that. Maybe. Stop. There we go. And so you've got a lot of demo here. So you've seen a lot of how the cameras work. You've even heard what it sounds like when you actually use it to pick up audio. You've also seen that it works with wireless charging. There's a lot to like here. Now, let me give you some dimensions. It's 5.9 inches by 2.8 inches by 0.35 inches thick, and it's 6.8 ounces, so it's pretty typical all in all for a phone. It's a little smaller than most of the Pixels, but I kind of like that. It's a much easier to hold in your hand. So we need to talk about price. Now, before we get to price, I'm going to invite you to click on that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Appreciate when you do that. And if you found this helpful and interesting, go ahead and give me a thumbs up or a like. Also, really, really helpful. Great. This is the Google Pixel 7a Android smartphone, and it comes in charcoal, this color, or snow, or sea, or coral. I'll let you figure out what those colors are. And it's $519 at att.com, or an incredible deal of $2 a month for 36 months, again at att.com. If you get it direct through Google, you might save a few bucks, so it's worth checking out depending on what carrier. But AT&T loaned me the phone for this review, so that's why I'm featuring them. It's everything I got. I like this phone. I really like the A series from Google. I really like that they remember that not everyone wants to spend $1,000 on a smartphone. So you got the whole scoop. That's all I got. I'll hope to catch you in my next video.